Hello, welcome to today's video. My name's John. Uh, Today we're going to look at a classical defense trap in the Ruy Lopez. If you don't know the classical defense, it's e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, bishop c5. Obviously black can do other things like a6, the Morphy defense. You can do d6, Steinitz, you can do knight f6 for the Berlin. Even bishop e7 if you want, or bishop c5, a bunch of others, or bishop c5 is actually the one we're going to go over. The modern defense, I think it's pretty good. However, I like to play c3 against it, and I think that's a move I would recommend playing. And it also sets up this nice little trap that we're going to go over. c3 eyes e4 obviously to gain a tempo on the bishop. And although that bishop's looking at that f2 square with knight f6, I still think white's going to have a good game just because he's going to be able to gain a tempo on that bishop and still have center control. A few responses black could give is f5. It's okay, I guess. You can maybe take. It'll be an interesting game for sure, but it's sort of a gambit. But he'll definitely win back that pawn. You could also play d4 now, and that should be okay, actually. In fact, that might even be winning. So you probably won't see that quite as much. The next move is knight f6. That's a normal move. The variation normal outcome is castle. Then you'll push d4. I actually don't even think you have to castle. You can push d4. And this pawn's not really much to worry about because if he tries to take, well, you got rook e1. So normally d4 would come next. Those are actually the two good moves to play. Maybe some others. I mean, you could play a6 now and actually get sort of that Morphy game. But what you might see players play is d6, and this is actually a mistake, and black is losing at this point. If you'd like, you can pause the video now and try to find it out for yourself. Okay, so it's a sequence of moves. First you want to play d4. d4, obviously you're now threatening the bishop and the pawn. The bishop's going to find that he's running out of squares. So first off, let's look. Most likely he'll take, but let's look if he moves back. You can actually push d5, and now you're pinning the knight with the bishop, and it looks like you're going to snap this knight. The only move he can have to have a hope of stopping it is a6. But after queen a4, there isn't much he can do. You can do bishop d7, but after you take, he might try to take you back. You're going to actually take the bishop with check. So he won't actually have time to get this queen before it runs away, and now you're going to be up a piece. So, targeted. So that's why bishop e6 will not work. He will most likely take. We're going to take back with our pawn. And once again, if he goes bishop b6, you run into the same deal. Even without this pawn, it doesn't matter. You're going to snap this knight, and the same deal. That bishop's blocking the rook from being protected, so you'll be in a good situation. Once again, I don't know if I showed, takes, and you're in a good position. So, don't move there, don't move there, back up. Alright, bishop b4 is normally what will be played, check. Here's the big move. There's only one move that is forcing, that will force the win of a piece. If you'd like, you can pause the video now and try to find it yourself. Okay, so a normal move that could be played would be knight c3. That's not the move, but you can see white has a pretty good game. The knight is blocking the king. It is developed. Once the king castles, this pin won't mean much. The bishop's still going to face some problems, and white's got great control of the center. So I still think white has a really good game if he does this. There's only a few moves that he can make. So bishop d2, normally he'll just trade bishops, and that's not the best. You can go queen takes, then knight c3, and you'll have a decent game. But knight e2 wouldn't really be the best. So the move is actually king f1. The other move would be king e2, but that does not work. If he does king e2, the queen can come to e7, and the trap, which I'm going to show you, will not work. We'll go back and take a look at that. So the correct move is king f1. After king f1, black once again will lose either the knight or bishop. He only has a few responses to try to save. It is black's move, so obviously the bishop cannot move. He only has one move, so let's try to move the bishop. If you do bishop a5, well, then you're going to do queen a4. And now you're putting a lot of pressure on this knight. And once you remove this knight, you can actually take this bishop. If the bishop tries to move again, maybe get a safe square, well, you can actually push d5. And you've got that same problem where even if he does a6, you're going to snap. Actually, you can snap that knight and the rook, so you'll be fine. So bishop b6 will not work. A move you could do is maybe try to block, but obviously after you take, you're going to go up. He might try to take back a pawn, so it's 2 pawns for a minor, but with queen e1, you can put a lot of pressure on this bishop, and I think white's got a winning game still. I don't think black has too many drawing chances, even with 2 pawns. Normally that's not enough anyway, so he could try to block with a knight, so that if you take the knight, well, he'll get another knight defender to get that. What you're actually going to do is you can just push d5. An alternate way, actually no, but an alternate way would be to trade and then do that. You'll still snap that knight no matter what. If the bishop moves back, well, you're going to win that knight. So that's an alternate way, but no matter what, you're going to be able to get this knight and snap it and probably get the bishop if he doesn't. If you're able to get, once you trade the knight, you're in good shape. So the bishop can't move. And that's the same if he does, let's say he does a move here. Well, you can push d5, and if he tries a6, you got that. So no other move. This was just sort of a development move. You might see knight e7. However, after d5, you're running into a big problem. Well, the knight's pinned, so the only way, maybe there's something you can do here, but once you do a6, you run into that same exact problem where if he tries to block, well, you just take, and you're in good shape because he has to take back. And actually, you'll win a bishop, so you'll be up 2 minors. That's pretty cool. 2 minors is nice. So knight e7 is not working. The last move he can try is bishop a7. So d5 will not work because he'll just move the knight. The correct move is queen a4. So really, the 2 moves you're going to want to look at are d5 and queen a4. He could try a6, but if he tries a6, you're going to grab the knight and be okay. And then be up. So it's actually kind of a similar thing to if he just moved the knight back. If he tries to defend, well, you actually transpose into a similar position. Although you're not pinning the knight, if that knight moves, well, you're going to get this bishop. So, and then if they do a6, well, we've been over that. So, you know, you go there and take, and you're in a good shape. Actually, you'll win that piece. So, the 2 moves you want to eye are, well, first you want to do king f1, and then you want to eye queen a4 and d5. Normally queen a4, if he's got a way to block this pin, or he moves the bishop, you want to do d5 if he tries to block the knight. Or do any other development, any other move, you can just do d5. So why not king e2? You know, he's in a lot of trouble. It's like, well, if you do that, you're going to get this knight, right? Well, even with this, this is still, black's got a lot of different stuff he can do. He can deliver check and sort of just cause a lot of problems for white. So there's really no reason to do king e2 king f1 is just completely safer. So one other thing I want to go over before I end this video, people might think this could be the same if you do something like a6. And let's say you could take the knight, but obviously if you do bishop a4, so classical defense. Well, let's try that trap. What if he does d6? Well, d4. First off, you'll note that that bishop has an escape square now, although he still won't do that because he's going to lose. Or the knight's going to be in trouble. And you can still push and be fine. What he'll do is he'll give check. If you do king f1, you're going to notice that there's no place for that queen to go. So he can actually just break the pin and be completely okay. You're not going to win this bishop. And actually your king is now unsafe. So this is probably in black's favor. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, king f1 after that. So thank you.